This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNN.Live. We're at the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium 2019 in Vancouver, BC. With me right now is Scott McLean from Transition Metals. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is XTM on the TSX venture. Scott, welcome back to SNN.Live.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you on. So for our audience, we'll start off with an overview of the company, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Transition Metals, it's a project generator. We're involved in a number of projects across Canada. We have some great projects, some great results in recent times.
So last time we had you on here was about 2 years ago at this conference. Let's get an update. What's been going on at Transition Metals, let's say from the last 12 months?
Sure, if you break it down into some of the big components, one of the key projects we have is Sunday Lake. Sunday Lake is a PGM project north of Thunder Bay. And this is turning out to be just a fantastic project in our minds. The sheet of mineralization now is about the size of 225 football fields and up to about 14 stories thick. Some of our best intersections are about 41 meters of over 5 grams. North American Palladium is advancing that project for us and doing just a great job. We're looking forward to new results coming out this fall, hopefully. In addition, we have a great new project in Nova Scotia called Highland Gold. It's widespread gold mineralization. We believe it's a high sulfidation epithermal system, and we've just finished drilling that project, and we hope to have results out soon. In addition, we own some significant ownerships of a couple of other companies, a couple of our spin-out companies, SBC Metals, we own 30% of. It's advancing it's our nickel assets in Sudbury, and the drill's starting up next week again on the Air Kid project, and Canadian Gold Miner, where we own 40%. We've just finished a drill program there, and we hope to take that company public this fall.
So as a project generator, I would imagine that you have your key core criteria that you're always looking for when you're evaluating a potential new area or project, but that can sometimes adjust with where we're at currently in the commodities markets. So right now currently, based on where we're at in gold, silver, copper, and all these different commodity prices and where we're at in their cycles, what's some of the company's core criteria when you're looking to evaluate a potential new area that you want to go and plant the flag?
Well, I think anywhere we look around the world even, we look at three sort of nodes. We look at the technical merits of the project. Does it fit a model? Are there decent grades there? Are we able to attain decent grades? The second thing we look at are what the economics are. How far is it from infrastructure? How deep is it below the surface? And the third thing we look at is political stability. Are we able to work there? Are the permitting processes in place and so on? So those are the three nodes. And out of those three nodes, there's two that are variable and one that's constant. The two variable ones are economics, how far, what's the metal price, how deep, what the political and security element is also variable. It may be risky today, not so risky tomorrow, but the one constant is the technical merits. The technical merits of the project are the key thing. What are the geophysical, the geochemical, and the geological merits that make this that fit the model of the deposit type that we're looking for?
And I mean, how do you stumble onto some of these areas that you're looking at? I mean, does the team have a wide experience in many different regions on the globe, or are you guys particular as to what commodities that you tend to want to look for?
Well, we're mostly focused in North America, and we're a little hesitant to go overseas right now. However, if a project was presented to us that we thought was meritable, we would certainly consider it. In terms of how we get to where the properties that we have, it's a combination of looking at numerous data sets, both public data sets and proprietary data sets that we may own or acquire, and actually doing a lot of boot and hammer work. We do rely, and that often leads us to staking opportunities, but we also rely heavily on prospectors. Prospectors have been very fruitful for us in terms of identifying good mineralization that we can take out of their hands through an option agreement and take it to the next level, which allows us to leverage it to a partner.
And Scott, I also have to ask, what about Transition Metals would you say is unique when you compare it to other project generators that are out there right now?
Well, the big difference is let's look at project generators versus traditional juniors. Traditional juniors generally only raise money to advance their projects. They issue a lot of equity, and that creates a high level of equity dilution, shareholders' equity dilution. So their prize is, at the end of the day, they're exploring one or two projects, and if they're really lucky and really good, one of those two projects will turn into a discovery. They'll probably own a big percentage of it, but you and I will have been diluted on the equity, so we own a very small piece of that big pie. You look at the project generator, Now, we have multiple projects out there. We don't like to raise money through private placements. We'd rather dilute on our property interest and keep that equity dilution really tight. So we're involved in numerous projects. We bring in partners to do the heavy lifting, take on the risk, mitigate the risk, and at the end of the day, we'll be involved in numerous discoveries of which we'll own minority or royalty interests in. And you and I, as shareholders, will own a much bigger piece of a number of smaller pieces of pie, if that makes sense. One of the key, if you look at Transition Metals, it's been public. It founded in 2009, went public in 2011. We've only ever raised $8.8 million, but we've had close to $35 million spent on our projects through partners. That's the kind of leverage a project generator brings to an investor.
And what's your background? I mean, how'd you come into all this?
Oh, my background, I'm a geologist, I guess, as a professional geologist. I worked many years for a company called Falconbridge Limited that became Xstrata Nickel, and worked for them for about a year before deciding to move on and join forces with one of my key partners, David Elliott from Haywood Securities. And we started building this enterprise back in about 2008. I've learned a lot about the junior markets. I've learned a lot about business and a lot about the finance world through this process. But at heart, my roots are really based in geology, and the team that we've put around us are part of that Falconbridge discovery team that was very successful during the first part of this century. And we've been able to kind of take that team, or a good portion of that team, outside the company and build a good, strong technical team. If you look at the track record of our team, it's outstanding on a career basis.
And then from what you can tell me, what are some of the company's value catalysts now moving forward for the rest of 2019?
Well, really, the one where we get the best performance is our Sunday Lake project. It looks like it's going to be a significant project into the future. We do get a lot of good response from that, and some just fantastic world-class intersections. Some of those intersections are some of the best PGM intersections that have been recovered worldwide in decades. So that's a really important project. And the other place where we get a lot of interest is in our high-grade gold projects. And this one we've just finished drilling in Nova Scotia is a key project for us. It's called Highland Gold, and it looks like we might have a tiger by the tail. Lots more work to do yet, though.
And where can our audience go and find more information about Transition Metals?
Well, of course, you want to go to our website, transitionmetalscorp.com. You can sign up for our news that on there, where you'll get everything that we put out to the market will come to you as well. And we have 3 social media sites. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNN.Live, and we're at the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium 2019 in Vancouver, BC. With me again has been Scott McLean from Transition Metals, publicly traded company. The symbol is XTM on the TSX venture. Scott, always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.